The list for Record Store Day 2024 is here. It's looking good. There's some really cool titles, some stuff I'm going to be lining up for, some stuff that's also kind of hilarious. So I want to talk about everything. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the list. So Record Store Day is coming up on 4/20, April 20th. And honestly, I've been off Record Store Day for a few years. I don't think I've lined up early since pre-pandemic, 2019 maybe. I still go every year. I still participate. But instead of lining up at 6 a.m., I'll roll in at like noon and see what's kind of left. I mean, just the amount of great vinyl titles that are released every week, like, I don't know, I just don't see the need to like go and get stuff that's in low quantity anymore. If I get it, great. If I don't get it, meh. I mean, I think honestly the last title I was really like excited about and wanted to line up for was like when they put out like the score for the Shrek movie a few years back. I got it, but I mean, hey, since then, nothing of that quality. But this year, things are looking up. There's some stuff that I'm like, actually, okay, I would really like to get that. So I want to show you some of my favorite picks. I think I put a list together of about 25 that I want to talk about, bring some attention to them. If there's anything that I'm clearly missing, this is just kind of my first go through. So yeah, let me know if there's anything down below that you think I should be checking out. If there's stuff that you're really excited about as well, let me know. Think some of my picks are stupid, let me know. It's Record Store Day. Everyone has a lot of opinions, so love to hear them. I think the first thing I have to mention too is kind of the Taylor Swift effect of everything. She's had releases the last 2 Record Store Days, and there's no release this year, but her new album's coming out the day before. So I'm curious to see what the breakdown of people who will be going to the record stores the day before to pick it up versus those who will wait till Record Store Day. Because I think there's a lot of titles for Record Store Day this year that Taylor Swift fans will like as well. So it's gonna be kind of an interesting mix. I mean, I think there's stuff like for literally everyone, from like young to like the oldest, like nerdy jazz audiophiles. There's kind of something for everyone. I think it's gonna be a really cool year, and I'm really excited. The first title I wanted to talk about, however, is the return of possibly the stupidest and most hated of all Record Store Day trends, and it is the 3-inch record, and by none other than the Beatles. If you told me that there would be a Beatles exclusive release for Record Store Day, I would have probably assumed that would have been like a must-buy, something that I would be super excited about, that they were going to be doing, I don't know, an all-analog, mono, 45 RPM cut of Rubber Soul or something. But no, we get a 3-inch record player, which I think it's been a couple Record Store Days since the last one. I remember a lot of people hated them then. But it comes with the songs that the Beatles performed on the Ed Sullivan Show. And I hate to say it, but if this is reasonably priced, I'm kind of interested. I think the curiosity finally got the best of me. Beatles fans are rabid, though. This thing's going to sell. As much as we probably all hate it, it exists. It's a thing, whatever. Next one is something that I think we need more information on, but from what I have right now, it's a must-buy for me. It's David Bowie, Waiting in the Sky, Before the Starman Came to Earth. 8,000 copies, RSD exclusive, and the way they're presenting this is that it's basically a session tape, a 1/4-inch session tape from the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spires from Mars, with an alternative track list and some unreleased tracks. So like some of the best Bowie material ever, presented differently in new tracks. Like, I think that's really exciting. It hints that it could be an all-analog release, but I doubt it, just because everything he's been putting out in the last few years has been half-speed mastered from high-res files. But hey, I'm curious about it at the very least, and right now I think that it's something I want to buy. Next is Captain Beefart with the Spotlight Kid, 2 LP set, 4,000 copies, RSD exclusive. Definitely one of his more accessible albums. It's pretty good. I think the thing that's interesting is that this is a AAA reissue. No notes on the mastering engineer, however. We'll see if that's released later on. I think this is something a lot of people will dig. We have Death Cab for Cutie with Live at the Showbox, 2 LP set, 2,500 copies, pink marble vinyl. So Death Cab for Cutie, very popular indie alternative band. About 10 years ago, I ended up getting to see them at a music festival. They were opening for whatever band I was more excited to see after. So I got pretty close, and they ended up being like the best band I saw that weekend. They were so incredible live. I've been a big fan of them ever since. I've got to see them a couple more times. They're spectacular, highly recommended, but I guess if you can't see them live, maybe go pick up this Record Store Day live release, because hopefully it sounds really good. But I mean, yeah, it's a great set, and it has I Will Possess Your Heart, one of my all-time favorite songs on it. Another great folk indie type band, Fleet Foxes with Live on Boston Harbor, 3 LP set, 4,000 copies, 2-hour set. Packaging looks really interesting Golden Wide Spine Orange Obi. Not sure if I'll be picking this one up, but if this is released on like Spotify, 100% listen to it, check it out. Hopefully it sounds really good because I think that it's like very acoustic driven music, very vocal, lots of harmonies. I think this will sound killer on vinyl if they do a good job with it. One that I just have to bring attention to because it's so hilarious, but they're doing a Fleetwood Mac Rumors picture disc. This is like that meme from a few years. I don't know if it was an Onion article or whatever, but it was basically like, oh, sorry, your indie band can't get your record pressed on vinyl because we're too busy making pink copies of Fleetwood Mac's Rumors for Record Store Day. And they basically did that. Yeah, picture disc, 7,500 copies, RSD exclusive. This is 100% going to sell. That's the thing that's the craziest about it. I don't know how many other versions, reissues of Every Need of Rumors, but hey, it's another one. People like picture discs. As we're going to see by the rest of this list, there's a lot of freaking picture discs. I don't get it, but you know what? Some people think they look cool. Good for them. Kind of an oddity that I think is really cool, and I'm not sure if I've heard much about this prior to, but it's Grohl, Benante, and Ian with the Regulator, 3,000 copies, Record Store Day exclusive. So it's basically Dave Grohl was in a studio doing a Foo Fighters album, and Anthrax was in the same studio as well, and the guys ran into each other. So Dave Grohl, Scott Ian, and Charlie Benante decided that they were going to do a Bad Brains cover. They recovered it. They recorded it, and they're putting it out as a 7-inch. The flip side is going to be etched, and all the money is going to charity. I definitely want to hear this at least, but I think this is going to sell out. I think this could actually be a pretty big seller once people find out what it is. Country album I actually am pretty excited about. Lola Kirk with Country Curious, 1,200 copies. It's her EP with some unreleased songs. Absolutely amazing, awesome, modern, Americana, old school country singer. She's a great voice. She put out some records on Third Man Records, which is how I learned about her. I think she's fantastic. There's some songs with First Aid Kit, Roseanne Cash. It's going to be on Fruit Punch colored vinyl. I think this is a cool pickup. Definitely check it out. So the release from this year's Ambassador is kind of interesting, but it's Paramore with 2 different versions of their last album, which is This Is Why. So they did a remix album that is available on Spotify. You can listen to it. So there's a standalone copy of This Is Why that's they're pressing 15,000 copies on red vinyl, and they're also doing a 2 LP set that comes with the standard version of the record, which it looks like it's on white vinyl, as well as the remix album, and it's going to be 10,000 copies. I was kind of hoping there'd be something kind of, I think, cooler or more exclusive or interesting for the fact that they're the ambassadors, but hey, 2 releases, it's alright. Metal title I am super excited about. It's Pigs. Anyway, it's Pigs a bunch of times. Live at KEXP, 12-inch EP, 1,500 copies on red vinyl. So I actually found out about this band because KEXP hosted them last year, which is the set that's on this record, and I don't know, it's been a long time since I've been excited about like a stoner doom band, like, you know, that really like old school Black Sabbath, heavy riffy stuff. This band just ripped, and I mean, KEXP, they record their stuff so well. I just love watching their sets. So it's cool that one of these is getting onto vinyl. If there's other ones that exist, let me know, because I'd love to get other KEXP titles on vinyl, but just like this heavy, nasty, riffy, sludgy stuff just sounds like, you know, Church of Misery mixed with like Red Fang. Check out the song Big Rig. So heavy, so crushing. I also love the fact that they made the album cover look like the Miles Davis live album too. But yeah, definitely one that I want to be checking out if my local store gets it. Something that I love about Record Store Day is that there's sometimes titles that you know how they're going to sound, or maybe you missed out on them, or they were included in a box set, but now you get the opportunity to buy them. The standalone title. This is one of them. Replacements, Not Ready for Prime Time, live at the Cabaret Metro, Chicago, Illinois, January 11th, 1986. 2 LP set, 6,000 copies. This was released last year on the Tim Let It Bleed edition as a CD. Now it's a standalone vinyl. It's a great set list, recorded pretty well. You can listen to it on Spotify if you want to check out the sound quality. I think this could be a good release. I'm getting more and more into the replacements, so I think this is one that I'll have my eye on. Next is, I think, the title that I'm most excited about, and I think is the one that I'll actually want to line up, and will be the most disappointed if I don't get it, but it's the Talking Heads live at WCOZ 77, 2 LP set, 8,000 copies, mastered at 45 RPM. Some of this set previously appeared on the name of this band is the Talking Heads, but this is the first time that's going to be available in its entirety. Killer set list, killer sound. One of my favorite bands. I think this is a must buy. Also, I love Talking Head 77, and this is like pretty much that album. So yeah, definitely gonna be trying to get this one. Next title I thought I would highlight just because I had previously talked about this title in a very different video, but I did a while back, I did like the most valuable Vinyl Me Please releases, and like half of them were albums by Young Thug. So there's Young Thug Jeffrey is coming out, 6,000 copies of this mixtape. One of their most expensive albums ever. I mean, very, very in need of a repress. So it's good that it's getting one an overdue reissue. This will definitely sell out and will hopefully make it a little bit more affordable if you were one of those people looking for the Vinyl Me Please edition. I think this is just gonna be on black vinyl though. I think the VMP ones were a little bit more exclusive, a little bit cooler, different colors. So next we're gonna be running into the Record Store Day first section of the list. This is stuff that will be available later on. Maybe it's a few weeks later, a few months, year or so later. Maybe it's in a slightly different format where there's a colored version for Record Store Day, and later on you get a black vinyl version. But these are just some of the titles that I thought were pretty cool. One is that there's going to be 2 Cannibal Adly live albums, 2 LP sets by Elemental Music. First official releases, which usually is a red flag, but they're mastered by Bernie Grundman, so hopefully that means that they sound decent. I've been getting more and more into Cannibal Adderley and trying to check out some of his stuff as a band leader, so these could be cool. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing about how they sound, kind of the set list, how good everything is. I'll be interested if I hear positive reviews and might look at them later on after Record Store Day. Next is At the Drivin with In Casino Out, 3,500 copies done by Craft Recordings. Gonna be on purple and green smoke vinyl. Super, super out of print album. If you don't know, 2 of the guys from this band went on to form the Mars Volta, one of my favorite bands. But At the Drivin is a really, really killer, like post-punk, post-hardcore, alternative rock band. They're active in like the 90s and early 2000s. They actually reunited a few years back. They put out a new album. But long out of print, definitely needed a repress. I'm happy this is gonna exist. I might have to pick it up. Another cool jazz title, Brother Jack McDuff with Ain't No Sunshine, live in Seattle, 2 LP set by the company Reel to Reel, 1,500 copies. Says it's transfer from the original reels. I don't know if that means that it's going to be all analog. I think that means it's a digital transfer, but it's going to be mastered by Kevin Gray, which is a good sign. He does great jazz releases. Brother Jack McDuff had a title that was reissued by Blue Note Classic last year, a couple of years ago. Anyway, I love that album. I listen to it all the time, Moon Rappin'. So I've been checking out his stuff. I see his albums all the time, quite discounted. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be interested in this one as well. I think the most popular jazz title that's going to come out of what's frankly a pretty stacked jazz roster, lots of random stuff, lots of unreleased stuff, but the one that I think will be the most popular, it's Bill Evans. Everybody digs Bill Evans. Craft Recordings is putting this out. 4,500 copies, RSD first. In mono, AAA, cut by Kevin Gray, pressed at RTI. My guess is that there will be a stereo version that comes out later on, is what's been happening with a lot of these jazz titles, where like I grabbed like there was the Art Pepper, there was a Chet Baker as well. I think there was another one, but yeah, they're really popular. Oh yeah, there was a Gil Evans last Record Store Day Black Friday. But yeah, super, super popular title. Bill Evans seems to be getting more and more popular. More people are getting into jazz. He has so many just super accessible and super good albums. Yeah, this one's going to sell like crazy, and I'm pretty sure that when it's actually properly released, that'll sell like crazy as well. This is not actually a release, but as I was going through the list, I misread Kenny Garrett as Kevin Garnett. Unfortunately, there is no release from the former NBA champion and co-star from Uncut Gems, unfortunately. Sorry to disappoint you. Next, a title is something that ended up being sort of the hit of the last Record Store Day Black Friday, but it's Noah Kahan with I Was, I Am. 15,000 copies. RSD first. It's one of his albums. Yeah, massive, massive seller. People were lining up, people were phoning record stores trying to get the title they put out for the last one. I think a lot of the Taylor Swift fans will be in the market for this one as well. But yeah, this is going to be super, super hot. One that I'm interested in, I don't know if I'm going to be getting it on vinyl, but I'm definitely curious to at least hear it digitally or whatever. But it's Leife with Night at the Symphony, 4,200 copies, 2LP set. I really like her stuff. I mean, I think she's technically the most popular jazz artist in the world. Very, very popular with younger people who aren't normally into jazz. jazz. So I think it's great that hopefully, I think she's getting a lot of younger people into the older stuff. But I found that her album are kind of recorded in a way that it doesn't quite line up with like the older jazz style that I really like. And I'd love to hear a more organic live recording. So I'm really looking forward to hearing how she sounds in a way presented that I think will hopefully sound more like the way I want to hear her voice and the way she plays her music. So I'm actually looking forward to this title. The weirdest and most bizarre title from this record store day, Joe Pesci with Little Joe Sure Can Sing. Yes, that is right, Joe Pesci, the movie star. The only real movie role that I know him from is from Home Alone. So the fact that there's a album being released by one of the Wet Bandits, good Lord, this is an album from the 60s that has never been reissued before. It's on Spotify. I listened to it. It's not good. It's hilarious though. He does a cover of the Beatles, Gotta Get You Into My Life. Wow, it's pretty rough. It's like your drunk uncle at karaoke with like a big band. It is so funny. Some people are going to get curious and pick this up, and you'll be probably disappointed, but you'll have a good laugh along the way. A title that has potential, but I have my concerns. Television Live at the Academy 92, 2,500 copies. They said that this is cleaned up and remastered, which I don't usually like when I hear cleaned up because it often means that the files were terrible or the tapes were terrible, but sometimes it means that we have new technology that can make something that sounded mediocre sound good. I don't know, but it's 2 LPs, colored vinyl. I'm interested to learn more about it. The title being released from the Canadian Ambassadors, and I'm pretty excited about this one. Tragically Hip live at Tragically Hip live at CBGB's. If I hadn't tried to read that, I think I would have been able to say it flawlessly. But yeah, 2,500 copies, pink vinyl, and comes with the turntable mat as well. So this was done during the Fully Completely tour, which in Canada, that album sold more than 1 million copies, and like every song on it is a hit single. And if you listen to rock radio in Canada, you'll hear those songs like every single day. Absolute banger set list. Hopefully the sound quality is good. Tragically, it put out a live album last year. It was like live at the Roxy. It sounded amazing. So I mean, hopefully this is along the same lines. Yeah, it's cool that they got to be the ambassadors. I hope this is a good title. Something that I think is really, really cool that's coming out. South Park 25th anniversary concert. 4,000 copies, record store day first, 3 LP set on Towley blue vinyl. So yeah, I'm definitely a South Park fan, not an obsessive fan where I love all the songs or need to hear any of the songs or anything, but this was a really cool concert and very historic because Primus and Ween played at it, but also Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson from Rush, like my favorite band, they were there. So I'm curious about this as a release. I've definitely watched all the videos of their performances when it came out. I think I might have teared up a little bit during that performance, but love that this is getting released and that after record store day, it's probably gonna be out on a black vinyl, be a little bit more accessible. Maybe this goes on sale eventually, I'll think about picking it up. Another one that I think is gonna be hugely, hugely popular, but it's The Weeknd live at SoFi Stadium. 3 LP set, 7,500 copies. It's from the After Hours Till Dawn tour, which I never really looked into The Weeknd or thought about it. I know a lot of his songs just because they're such big hits. One of his songs I hear literally every time I'm at the grocery store. In fact, I literally heard it today before this list was released, but I've started to get into him a little bit. I loved his last album. Incredible, like 80s new wave synth pop sound. He absolutely nailed it. And like Jim Carrey did like these like vocal intros. It's kind of weird, but yeah, it was really cool. This is available on Spotify. I have to say, it's one of those shows where it'll be way better as a DVD than as a vinyl record. The performance isn't spectacular. His voice sounds okay, but it's kind of buried, kind of muddled in the mix. And I mean, like, he has such a good voice, and it's like, vocals are so important to the music, but I mean, there's such a stage production as well that you're missing out on. I'm definitely curious about this one. I think this one will sell really well though. This is one that I thought was interesting, but I need to talk about because I thought that the description was hilarious, but it's a Witchfinder General with Death Penalty, which is just like super iconic, awesome, early like new wave of British heavy metal, doom metal album, long out of print. It's half-speed master direct metal mastering. They said to give it the ultimate audio file quality. I think they meant audio file, not that the file that they'd be pressing it from would be the ultimate quality. Or maybe they did, I don't know. I'm curious about it. And the last title I wanted to talk about, Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Effin' Up, 2 LPs, 5,000 copies, clear vinyl. This is recorded in 2023. Neil vinyl usually is awesome. He really puts a lot of care and attention to his stuff. Definitely curious about this. Now that he's not on Spotify, I find I'm buying way more Neil Young records. So I think this is probably going to be a great release. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of older vinyl fans lining up for this like every record store day. Whenever you see anyone over the age of 50 at record store day and you ask them what they're looking forward to, it's a Neil Young title always. So yeah, those are the titles I'm kind of most excited about. Something that I think are the misses, the sheer amount of picture disc. What the heck? The Cure, Blur, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the Fleetwood Mac one I talked about, George Harrison. Why? I don't know why they keep trying to shove picture discs down our throats. I know some people think they're cool, but I think the people are really spending the bulk of money at Record Store Day think they're stupid. We don't want them. Another thing, yeah, there's yet another Iggy and the Stooges live albums that's never before been available on vinyl. I've been burnt by Iggy albums that are like this. They usually sound terrible unless I can hear a sample of it ahead of time. 100% avoiding it. But yeah, that's the Record Store Day list. I'd love to hear what you're looking forward to. Are there any titles that I'm missing out on that I should be aware of? Let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.